Welcome to another edition of Talk City Greensboro, produced by GTN, featuring interviews and events happening around town. It's an easy way to stay in the know while you're on the go. Subscribe to Talk City on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or SoundCloud so you can keep up with what's going on in Greensboro City government. I'm your host, Josh Johnson, and as always, alongside me, the man at the controls, Mr. Devin Smith. How are you, sir?
Hey, how you doing, Josh?
Good. I'm easing back into that long, drawn-out introduction, buddy.
I can see that. I can feel it. We'll see what you come up with next week. Well, what's up, Greensboro? I just want to give a quick shout-out to the parents and the students as we head back into this back-to-school season. We hope everybody has a great and safe academic year.
Yes, be
here
safe.
In Guilford County, right? So now to some really pressing information, because right around the corner is the North Carolina Folk Festival that's coming up, right? And so last week we talked to Assistant Chief of Fire, Brett Combs. We talked about the Memorial Stair Climb and how that's going to be a part of the entire weekend, right?
Yeah, yep.
Well, somehow, to follow that up, we got the busiest woman on the planet right now.
That is truth right there.
We have the president and CEO of the North Carolina Folk Festival, Amy Grossmann. How you doing?
Good. Thank you so much for having me here. Thank you.
Absolutely. I don't know where she found the time in her schedule, but she's here. Okay.
Yeah. I'm sure somewhere somebody's like, where is it? She's going to be here in a minute.
Well, let's start right there. So how excited are you to be basically bringing back the folk festival, because we're trying to fill the streets of downtown Greensboro again? How exciting is it to plan this event again like this in person?
I think it's exciting on a couple different levels. Number one, just the general excitement of bringing people together again. I feel like we need festivals to start to heal, but I also acknowledge that, given, where we are with the pandemic and the rising cases of Delta variant in our community in particular and across the country, that the excitement also extends into the additional layers of planning that we are putting into the festival. Yeah. So it's excitement, it's busy, but we're just really counting on our community of audience members, participants, and everyone to just be kind, be respectful, and we'll have a fun and safe North Carolina Folk Festival.
Absolutely.
Yeah. When you come out, just like you said, be kind, considerate, be safe, and everybody's going to have a good time. Yeah. It's going to be good. Yep. So let's talk about the artist. Was it a concerted effort to secure more local and North Carolina talent?
I think things just kind of shook out that way.
Right.
If you've been to the festival before, you know that we have a real mix of international artists, other artists coming from different parts of the country, and then some more regionally based folks. And, one thing we did face this year is some of the international artists who I was talking to were not able to travel here for various reasons, right. For COVID reasons, but also they, not being able to get their visas like they normally would, because U.S. embassies were closed in their countries. So that has impacted nationwide a lot of, international artists being able to come here. And that's okay. We're talking to them about coming back next year. So we'll make sure that happens again. And then, I think this year, we really tried to, do a really good mix of, folks that are based nationally, and then trying to amp up a little bit more of the local and regional artists. So that there definitely was some concerted effort towards that, and some thinking, some really deep thinking about that, and how we can, as a festival, be more intentional about how we're connecting to our local community.
Absolutely. Because last year when we did the video stuff, a lot of that was North Carolina based artists, right?
It was. Yeah, all but one performer was a North Carolina performer, and that one was from Georgia, and she was here celebrating a North Carolina performer. So last year's program was all North Carolina.
Yeah. And so we're following that up with bringing more people to an even bigger stage. Yep. So I have a follow-up question, because when I was looking at the list, I noticed something that it's not an anomaly, because the National Folk Festival, the very first one of the headlines was DJ Master Flash.
That's right.
And so I noticed that we had a more than a couple hip hop artists on the schedule. Was that something that maybe you heard the community wanted more of?
Yeah, so I will give all the credit to Demeanor, who is a local hip hop artist here in Greensboro. He was part of our virtual concert series last year, and we kept in dialogue with him, and some seeds of an idea came out of conversations with him, he was sharing a lot more with us about kind of this DIY spirit here in Greensboro.
Yeah.
There are a lot of creatives who just make things work. If the venues aren't available to them, the materials, whatever, they make do and they make it happen.
Yeah.
And so through those conversations with Demeanor, he pitched the idea of like a hip hop program. And I said, yeah,
Absolutely.
he just said, there are so many great performers within our own community, and I'd love to get them to be part of this. And he has done so much work, just educating people through his own artwork and through speaking about, rap's place in folk music.
Yeah.
And so, again, he curated that entire program. And the other thing that was really important to him, kind of again in that DIY spirit, was, through his own work that he does a lot of videos about, production and writing rap lyrics. And so he wanted that to be part of it as well. So there will be the performances on stage, and then also these interactive kind of educational workshops that are also part of that program. So we're really excited. But yeah, shout out to Demeanor. That was all him. Just kind of gave him we agreed on some parameters and just said, man, you do it. And he did it.
Absolutely.
That's going to be cool, man.
Yeah.
For all the bedroom producers out there.
That's right.
Let's all be there. There's going to be a lot of knowledge passed on.
Absolutely. So who's the big name? Like who on Saturday evening, who are we all coming to see?
Well, I mean, I'm like a parent, so I don't have any favorites. But, because, I want everyone to see everyone and get as excited about every single performer like me. Mm-hmm. But, I will say there are a couple of artists who are a little bit more commercially known. One of those is Friday night, capping off our performances, is Molly Tuttle. She's this amazing young bluegrass and Americana musician, a real rising star, and we're really lucky that she was available. Originally, Del McCory was supposed to be part of our festival, and then there was a scheduling issue, and we're hoping, fingers crossed, that we'll be able to get on his calendar for next year. But Molly was available, and so she's going to step in and take that place. She's amazing. The other thing that Saturday night, you mentioned Saturday, Wycliffe Gordon. If people don't know who he is a world-renowned jazz trombonist, has spent many years jazz at Lincoln Center performing there, but then, of course, does a lot of his own stuff. So we're really thrilled that worked out, and he's going to be with us.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
So what are the COVID protocols that we want to push? Because we know there are some.
Yes.
So what are the big ones that we kind of want to push out to people when you're coming? Pay particular attention to wear your mask, wash your hands.
Yeah. So, as we're going to be completely 100% outdoors. So our festival is just very naturally designed for spacing. And so we're going to be trying to reinforce that message through signage, reminding people to do that. Again, be kind, be respectful. We'll have lots of masks available if people want one. So they can just go to an info booth. We'll have both adult and children's sized masks. Nice. But, in terms of the audience members, because we are a free admission, non-gated event, we are not going to have requirements of the audience members. What we are asking is that we're encouraging people to be fully vaccinated before they come. Mm-hmm. We're encouraging them to wear masks. We're encouraging them to, again, keep your hands clean, and then the distancing. And if everyone follows those, 4 CDC recommended behaviors and 4 acts of kindness, then, we're going to have a great time. I will say that behind the scenes, there are a few more protocols for some of the participants, for the performers, the crew, and the volunteers. Right. So, for example, we're requiring all the volunteers to wear masks when they're serving in their capacity as a volunteer. Okay. And then there are other protocols behind the scenes for some of the performers and staff. But in terms of the general public, just be kind, be respectful. One last thing I'll mention is that while I'm not advocating people should wait to get vaccinated at the festival, but Cone Health will be there at the festival to administer vaccinations.
All right, so that works out well. You're there, you decide you want one,
that's
boom,
right.
You got one. So
absolutely.
Perfect.
So I absolutely can't wait. I know the food trucks are going to be amazing. The music's going to be amazing. Community is going to be amazing. So how about you give us the dates for people who I don't know. Haven't been downtown in the last few weeks to see the signs.
I make no assumptions about where people spend their time, but yes, no, I'm happy to share that. So the festival, free admission, downtown Greensboro, runs this year September 10, 11, and 12. We start off on Friday around 5:30, 6 p.m. There's some opening remarks, and then we go right into performances there on Friday. Goes till about 10 o'clock, and then Saturday and Sunday starts at noon, and then goes into the evening on both days.
Absolutely. And so where's a website that people can get a list of acts and times, so maybe they want to bookmark specific acts?
Yeah, so what I will very strongly encourage folks to do is to download our mobile app. That should be live in the app and Google Play stores. Probably we're thinking by Monday.
Okay.
There's a review process, that crazy
Yeah.
stuff. But that is going to be the absolute best way for people to download that app to their smartphone. It's a touchless way, to engage
right.
with the festival, and they can select the performances they want to attend,
Nice.
read about the performers, look up the food vendors. That is the absolute best way to do it, and I really encourage people to do that. We will have printed programs on the festival site that people can
Okay.
pick up, but if you want information before then, go to ncfolkfestival.com.
Absolutely. All right. Anything else you want to add that we might have skipped over, might have missed, didn't mention yet?
No, I'm excited that we're going to be back in person. I do believe we've put a lot of thought into our health and safety guidelines, and again, just we're all in this together, and
Right.
let's just try to make it. Let's do it safely, and then just go on from there.
Have a good time.
Have a good time.
Have a good time. I can't wait. I love the folk festival.
I do too.
so-
It's fantastic. Amy, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you
it.
both.
Stay tuned in weekly by subscribing to Talk City Greensboro on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. And don't forget, you can download Talk City from SoundCloud.
That's it for this week. Thank you for tuning in to Talk City. Be sure to watch GTN, your official source for news and information about the city of Greensboro. GTN is available on Spectrum Channel 13
AT&T UVerse Channel 99.
and North State Channel 31.
GTN also streams live on Roku and the city's website
At greensboro-nc.gov. Have a good one.
Take care.